What's up, guys? It's Clown Fighter here. Today, guys, we're going to be looking at the upcoming UFC fight against Belal Muhammad and Leon Edwards. I'm also going to be looking at whole main event, which is Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this fight, guys, who I think is going to win, and just my general thoughts. So, where do we start with this one, guys? You know what? Let's start with Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. Then I'll break down Leon Edwards versus Belal next. All right, let's start with Tom Aspinall. So Tom Aspinall, guys, is fighting Curtis Blaydes in 2 weeks, July 27th, I think. Sorry, July 28th UK time anyway, but July 27th for you people in the US now. Unfortunately, this card's been shown at 5 a.m. in the morning, which crazy, but anyways, is what it is. But okay, so let's just go through the stats of each person, and I'm going to give you my take on who I think is going to win this and how they're going to win, etc., etc. So we got Tom Aspinall with a record of 14 wins, 3 losses. You got Curtis Blaydes, 18 wins, 4 losses. Now, one of Tom Aspinall's win came to a loss to Curtis Blaydes. That was his fight, I think 2 or 3 fights ago. He had a fight with Curtis Blaydes in Manchester, I think it was, or in the UK. I think it might have been Liverpool. I can't actually remember where. But what happened is he kicked Curtis Blaydes within the first 30 seconds to 40 seconds of the fight, and he got injured. He had a very bad knee injury, and due to that, the fight was stopped, and Curtis Blaydes obviously picked up the win. Since then, Tom Aspinall's come back. He's got the surgery done. He's been looking better than ever. He's had a few good wins. He beat so he came back, guys. He lost to Curtis Blaydes. He came back. He fought Marcin Tybura, beat him by TKO. Then he fought Sergey Pavlovich, and then he beat him by KO as well to become the interim heavyweight champion. Now, there is obviously still a hold up in that division due to Jones and Stipe, but I ain't gonna touch upon that in this video. So he's basically having a rematch with Curtis Blaydes, the guy who he didn't, in my opinion, didn't lose to Curtis Blaydes. It was due to an injury, but obviously on the record it would go down as a win. So since Curtis Blaydes beating Tom Aspinall, he lost to Sergey Pavlovich by TKO, and Tom Aspinall has just beaten Sergey Pavlovich. It doesn't mean though, just because Tom's already beaten Sergey, that means automatically he's gonna beat Curtis. That doesn't always work like that. But at the same time, Curtis Blaydes has beaten Gelton Almeida recently by a KO in one of their fights. So Curtis Blaydes is a decent fighter, guys. I'm not going to say he's the highest rated, but he's not shit as people say. He's got very good wrestling. His stand-up is quite decent. He's probably more known for his wrestling, to be fair, and like stopping takedowns and taking guys down. So what's my view on this matchup? As I said, Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes in a rematch. So as long as there's no injury, guys, in this fight, I'm just going to get straight to the point. I see Tom Aspinall putting in a clinic on Curtis Blaydes. Now, I'm going to just talk about where Tom Aspinall is going to probably beat Curtis Blaydes. In my opinion, Tom Aspinall on the feet is much better than Curtis Blaydes. Way more technical. The guy moves like he's a lightweight, guys. He moves like a bloody middleweight, probably less than a middleweight. He can move. He's probably one of the most quickest movers for that size. Top of that, the guy's got power. He knocked out Sergey Pavlovich in his last fight, put him out. And guys, he can move. His technicalities, standing up, very technical fighter. He did a lot of that to Alexander Volkov that he fought. Alexander Volkov, I think it was. Very good technical stand-up fighter. But on top of that, guys, the thing with Tom Aspinall is he's got very good wrestling as well, and jiu-jitsu. He's not a slouch on the ground. He has won a few of his fights by taking people down. He took down Andrei Lovsky. He can use his wrestling. He mixes it up. And on top of that, if you look at his YouTube channel, Tom Aspinall's YouTube channel, he actually trains with more heavyweights than I ever see anyone train with. Even these fighters from the USA, it's difficult to get that many heavyweights in a room. Tom Aspinall's got this thing going on now in the UK place he trains, where he trains with about 20 to 30 heavyweights and he just rotates them. That's helped him that's helped him deal with the heavyweight division a lot more. He used to say when he was younger, he used to train at Cowbomb with Darren Till, and he never used to have that much heavyweights training with him. Now the fact that he rolls and trains with them every single day, it's given him that confidence to know this is his place. He's used to dealing with those sort of bodies. So He's a championship level fighter, and he does everything right, guys. The guy trains hard. In my opinion, he's probably the best heavyweight right now, barring John Jones. But in my opinion, John Jones is not going to fight Tom Aspinall because he's running from him, but that's a whole different story. Anyways, so in my opinion, look, as much as I like Curtis Blaydes had a few wins as well. I'm not saying his record's the worst. He obviously lost to Sergey Pavlovich, which Tom Aspinall destroyed. He's got a few good wins. Jarizio Rosenstruik is a decent one. He lost to Derek Lewis by knockout. He actually beat Alexander Volkov. He beat Junior Dos Santos. He's a decent heavyweight. You could probably say a little bit above decent. So it's not like a slouch. He comes to fight. He's a game fighter. But in my opinion, Tom Aspinall is going to be all wrong for this fight. Now, I'm not a betting man, but I did look at the odds on this. They got Aspinall as a 1.4. That's in decimals. I don't know, but I don't bet, nor do I encourage betting. But I'm not saying it's an easy fight for Tom Aspinall, but I see Tom Aspinall going through Curtis Blaydes like a laxative, to quote Derek Chisora and Dillian White.
How do you beat this man?
Oh, it's like this, man. Have you ever taken those pills, the laxative pills? You know, the ones you take, you pop, and you wait for 20 minutes, you go to the toilet, and they go through you? I'm going to go through this man.
It's a bit of a weird analogy.
Everybody knew exactly what I was talking about. I'm going to go through this guy.
So it's a bit of a crazy analogy, but a fresh Tom Aspinall who's got his knee back under him. I see him stopping Curtis Blaydes by knockout. Or the only way Curtis Blaydes got, I'm not saying he only got a chance, but is the wrestling side. So if Curtis Blaydes starts wrestling Tom Aspinall, it doesn't mean Tom Aspinall's going to get taken down and get held down. It's going to be more competitive. So it just depends how Curtis Blaydes comes at him. But in my opinion, I think Tom Aspinall's going to be way too much for Curtis Blaydes. The guy's proficient everywhere. On the stand-up, I think he'll knock him out, guys. I honestly think he'll finish him. I think he'll finish Curtis Blaydes. He's got the ability to finish Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes has been knocked out by a lot of people, guys. As I said before, Curtis Blaydes has been stopped by Sergey Pavlovich, Derek Lewis, and Francis Ngannou. Like, he's a good fighter, but when it comes up to the best of the best, he always falls short. So, in my opinion, this is a lock. I see Tom Aspinall winning by whatever he wants. But again, on the ground, that's where Curtis Blaydes will have a competitive fight. I'm not saying Curtis Blaydes can't win, not ruling it out. However, I don't see it happening. I think Tom Aspinall's just going to be too strong, too quick, too fast, and just better everywhere than Curtis Blaydes. But that's just going to be my opinion on that one. Now, guys, let's go to the main event, which is what I really want to talk about. Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Very good fight, guys. Again, these are two guys that have met in the past before. They did have a fight. I think it was in lockdown 2020. Unfortunately, the fight was stopped due to an eye poke of Belal Muhammad. A lot of people say he was crying like a crybaby. But look, when you get poked in the eyes, guys, you can't blame him. But the guy's reaction was very dramatic. But again, I'm not gonna say he was on the floor because obviously in the second round, Leon Edwards' eye poke hit him, and he might have thought he lost his eye. So you know what? Who am I to say that? Forget about that. Anyways, what do I think about Belal Muhammad? So let's just have a look at these guys' records now. I've always rated Leon Edwards, guys, not just because he's from my fucking Birmingham and he's from my town. Nah. I rated this geezer's skills from he was coming up. Every time back in 2020, a lot of people didn't like Leon Edwards and they were like, oh, this guy's crap. He's got no personality. But guys, just look at the guy's resume and look who he's finished. Look at the guy's resume. He's beaten Colby Covington in his last fight. He's beaten Kamaru Usman twice. So back with the Belal Muhammad thing, he had a fight with Belal Muhammad in lockdown 2020, and in my opinion, Leon Edwards was piecing him up in that first round. If you go back and watch that first round, if I could put some pictures and clips up, I'll show you. Leon Edwards actually fucking head kicked Belal Muhammad. He was doing him technically on the feet. Belal Muhammad was dancing around, and Leon was sticking it on Belal Muhammad. Now, unfortunately, in the second round, we know what happened. Leon Edwards poked him in the eye. Belal starts crying, drops on his knees. Sorry, guys, man. It's just a funny sight. But again, I can't say that because he could have been hurt. He probably thought he lost his eyesight. So anyways, Belal drops on the floor. Can't continue. The fight gets stopped. I think it was a no contest. So it wasn't a loss. It was just a no contest. But yeah, so since then, to be fair to Belal, he's come back. He's had some good fights. So I want to look at Belal's record. I don't think Belal's just a shit fighter. I do rate him to a certain level. However, in my opinion, the way I look at this fight, guys, is they both got similar records. 22 wins, 3 losses, 23 wins, 3 losses. But the way I look at it is, guys, Belal is like a B-Tech version of Leon Edwards. He's very good, and he'll beat a lot of people in this division. But in my opinion, he is not on Leon Edwards' level. He's just not going to be technically strong. The areas he is good at, though, is the wrestling area, which I'll look at. But let's just have a look at his record, and I'll give you my take. So, to be fair to Belal, he's had a good winning streak as well. He's not lost for a long time. So he's beat people like, I'm just going to go through his record because I don't know half the people at the bottom. So I don't know that. So since the Leon Edwards fight, I'm going to look at that. He beat Diego Lima, which I don't know too much about that guy. Leon Edwards, no contest. He beat Damian Maia, which again, veteran of the game, but quite old. He beat Wonderboy Thompson, which again, he's a good fighter, but again, he's quite old. Stephen Thompson, Wonderboy, is quite old right now, but he's a good fighter, definitely. He beat Vicente Luque by decision as well. Vicente Luque is a decent, good fighter. He's not the oldest, so that's a good win. He beat Sean Brady, which again, Sean Brady's an upcomer, and Belal beat him by TKO. Again, that's a good, I'm not saying he's the best of the best, but it's a good win. And then he beat Gilbert Burns by decisions as well. Gilbert Burns is definitely a good fighter. So you can't knock Belal Muhammad in terms of his resume. It's not I'm not saying Belal Muhammad's got a shit resume at all. I think he's got a good resume. I just don't think he's good enough to beat Leon Edwards. But he might prove me wrong. But in my opinion, his strengths are his wrestling, his cardio. He's got a good gas tank. But in terms of the stand-up, he's gone better on his stand-up. But I think Leon Edwards' stand-up is way too much for him. Now, in terms of the wrestling, let's talk about the wrestling then.
Oh, you're a wrestler. You're a wrestler. I remember I'm the black belt in jiu-jitsu, and you're shooting on me now. So me and you know that
Big
this
mistake.
is a rat.
So Leon Edwards, as I said, his last 3-4 opponents, guys, they've all been wrestlers. Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman. Leon Edwards has mastered the style on how to beat a wrestler. Kamaru tried to take him down multiple times. He probably took him down once or twice, 3 times. Leon Edwards knows how to get back to his feet. Once they get back to the feet, the energy, guys, of you trying those takedowns, it tires you out. And he's done that over and over. Colby Covington, he just had him in his last fight. Colby talked all this crap that he's going to do this, that. He couldn't do nothing to Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards technically beat him everywhere. So Leon Edwards, in terms of the stand-up and trying to take Leon Edwards down, it's a bad plan. Now, Belal could try it. He's probably going to try it. But if you can't get Leon Edwards down, first of all, even if you do get him down, he's not a slouch on the ground. Leon Edwards took Kamaru Usman down in the first fight. Leon Edwards took Colby down. Leon Edwards has good wrestling himself. Yes, he doesn't know how to maintain the position, but he's very good at reversals. He's good at getting on top, and his ground game ain't shit, guys. He's never been taken down, where apart from when he fought Kamaru Usman the first time, which was when they were very young, almost more than 10 years ago now. And since then, Leon Edwards has improved leaps and bounds. And I'm not saying Belal Muhammad hasn't improved. He's gotten better, I will not lie. But in my opinion, Leon Edwards is going to be too technically good for him. I'm not saying Belal doesn't have a chance. And I could see Belal trying to put that pace and that forward pressure on Leon Edwards. We have seen in the past, like the Nate Diaz performance, when you do put pressure on Leon Edwards, he does know how to pace himself, but he gets a bit complacent. When he got complacent with Nate Diaz, he got hit with the right hand and he nearly lost the fight in the last 8 seconds, which he didn't. But I think he's learned from those mistakes, and obviously we've seen that with the Kamaru Usman fight where he knocked him out with a head kick. In the second fight, he beat him, in my opinion, 3-2 or 4-1 if you want. But he's improved. He's used to the style of someone that's going to keep diving for his legs. Stand-up wise, I think he's one of the best in the division, guys. This guy's striking is so clean to watch. It's picture perfect striking. The guy's an efficient fighter with his striking. So in my opinion, striking wise, Leon Edwards is above Belal Muhammad. Now in terms of the wrestling, you could put him at a similar sort of level. Belal might have that more relentless, old school, similar style to wrestlers, but don't forget, Leon Edwards just already faced 3 wrestlers already. 2 wrestlers. You had fucking Kamaru Usman twice, and then you had Colby Covington once. He's prepared for Belal. There's nothing Belal's going to bring to Leon Edwards that he hasn't seen before. He could bring more wrestling pressure. That's about it. But I think Leon Edwards is going to piece him up on the feet. Not saying Belal can't win this, but my opinion, I've got Leon Edwards on this as well. And I don't think... let's have a look at the odds on this one. Yeah, so it's about 1.5, guys. So it's probably about right. So yeah, guys, in my opinion, I think Leon Edwards again. I would say this fight here is more closer than the Belal and Tom Aspinall fight. Sorry, the Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes fight. I would say this one's more closer. However, I would still edge Leon Edwards quite a bit on this fight, but I do feel this one's going to be a bit more closer. Belal might have a few moments in this fight, but ultimately if Leon Edwards comes in as he should come in, I think he's just going to be too sharp, too quick. But I do have a feeling with this fight, Belal is gonna try and put it on Leon Edwards. So I'm not writing Belal Edwards off Belal at all. If you do pick Belal, good luck, because his odds are quite higher. So if you are a betting guy, then it might benefit you. But don't write Belal off. But in my opinion, I see Leon Edwards doing him over. It's gonna be might be by decision, but we'll see. Belal says he's gonna try and finish Leon Edwards. So let's see, man. It's gonna be a good fight. I'll edge. I'm going to go with Leon Edwards, although I know Belal's going to be very tough, very hard to beat, and he's going to come game. We'll see who comes out the victor. But guys, that's just going to be my picks for this fight. Let me know your thoughts below. Who do you think is going to win? And if you're watching it, guys. But I'll catch you in the next video. But yeah, that's just going to be my video, and I'll catch you in the next one.